This song
Is
is
this a
called...
banjo?
No, this is ukulele, actually. And I'm playing it.
Tambourine?
No, shaker. This is called Waves.
I noticed that all you're doing is just a rim shot, which is really cool. And a bongo?
There's not drums yet. There's not drums yet.
That's a good use of that's like a distinct style of the way you write. This is what I'm talking about, your vocal style. Nice harmony. Sounds like a DJ. Well, not like a riff dance. Well, the rhythm.
I like Beach Boys a lot.
Oh, totally,
I like
totally. Fantastic drummer, the late great one of the Wilsons.
Not Caryn.
This is real, I can do. I need you, I need you.
This was a concept song. I'll tell you that.
It's like almost a cha-cha. In other words, like
Beach cha-cha. Cha-cha on the sand. The concept.
No, in other words, that's so.
You hear how more it's building. It went from nothing to just ukulele, shaker, to more layers.
So coming with big roll. Like one of the famous. What is that?
Violin. I played.
Yeah? Sweet. Did you do that on purpose? It's so cool, you bend it. Is it on purpose like that? It's cool. Wow. It sounds a lot like a country bar. So you never really came in around with a big drum beat on that. That was I thought you were going to.
It was just a nice loose.
Well, not like the other one.
No.
So this kind of almost fakes the listener out.
My whole concept of how the percussion should have been is everything underneath the shaker that started off the percussion. You know, everything just builds and complements what's already there. You know, that's the only, like, instrumental wise, the only concepts song instrumental. I knew that I wanted to go bare bones to a whole bunch of stuff. By the end of it, you have a lot going on. You have shaker, you have ukulele, you got a couple guitars in there, you know, just a big layered thing, and it's almost like a wave, you know, and it goes from nothing to huge. So
You built it.
that's what I call my concept song.
Yeah, it's kind of like a sound grid, but you know, a rhythmical sound grid. I just built it out. I like that. Look at this piano effect.
This
Wait a
is
second, is that your voice on there? What did you do right on this here? You sampled it right on like a small speaker?
this was actually a home recording that I could not leave off the record. It's kind of like bonus material that I stuck in there because the tape was just too good to waste.
So this is a home recording? It's dirty, but that makes it
It
great.
sounds almost like
Yeah.
a record.
But it sounded right like you did that on purpose. Some
Yeah.
bands have done that, and it
We actually kind of tweaked it to purposely make it kind of sound like a vinyl.
sounds like it. Yeah. By the way, if you had recorded this any other way, it wouldn't have exist. In other words,
Things happen for reasons. Song's called Save Me, by the way.
What'd you say?
The song's called Save Me.
The raw part, right, is if this became more popular than some of the other songs, just because of the
It's
heart,
different.
because of the heart and the way they was recorded.
This is the heart you said?
The heart, in other words, this is it's really good.
Thank you.
If you re-recorded it, you're welcome. With clean, it might not be as cool because it just had like that.
It's
It was something you did, you know.
I'm really glad that
You know what it's almost like? How long ago did you record this? See, that's cool. This reminds me a little bit of like Tubular Bell. So, piano feels like almost like
almost like Caryn.
yeah, a little let it be. Not doesn't sound like let it be, but just that. It's
Sometimes
almost like I'm not sure what you're saying.
Save Me at Only Do, Save Me at Only
It's almost about like gospel.
It's
Try to
so
chorus.
funny that let's go back to that. Let's go back to that. That's so funny.
I'm working on something like that has that kind of like you use of chords. It has to do with
And emotion, yeah.
well, no, but also like the chord usage.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what the chords are, but I'm working on a new composition that has around like 1 4 1 4. And whenever you do, let me wait till it's done now. I'll say. I want to dig this in. Are you doing like a little retardando here? It's almost like a rubato ad libitum retardando. Would you agree? What the lady just did was a retardando ad libitum retardando. You want to explain that?
You're slowing down little by little.
Yeah, and the ad libitum
Ad lib, so you take liberties.
told a lot of classical musicians.
Professor over here.
That's why, you know,
Educated.
Rick from Drum Radio called me a few, what about it, Bill says, you are the professor. But nah, it's just, that's what's cool about we're two fantastic drummers, but we're artists doing that. And Famularo once said, right, that when you become a musician, like that you're not just a drummer, when you study, right, you're a musician and an artist and then of course a drummer. But when you use, I don't know if you, are you using like any 1 and 4s in here? In other words, like
Cass
1
played the
4?
piano, I say. This was a very bare bones take. We were in a small little practice room, and he was just on a regular acoustic piano, and I sang. And
Sounded
that's-
gospel, but why did you, what were you
Gospel.
gonna say?
You picked
What were you
that.
gonna
Okay.
say?
The words in the first section of the song is very like things are bad, right? And then it turns around at the end saying you saved me, we'll never leave you, and it gets all positive at the very end. The words kind of flip around. We came together. We started to believe. Those words are in verse 2.
So it's the
it's-
words or
it's-
the feel?
It's a lot of the words too. You picked up on the feel. If you knew that this is the first time that you're hearing it and stuff, if you were to sit down and look at the lyrics and stuff, you'll see that there is some spirituality in there and belief in God in there. So
I like
yeah,
it.
that's cool that you picked up on that without even like really getting the words put in front of you. You heard it in the music.
Both thinking the
Yeah.
same thing.
This is the oldest recording on the album. This is going back from high school. This is the other home recording on the album.
This is really cool. Which album is this now? Your fifth or sixth?
This is my fifth album.
Because when you know, like you start to get to that point where you reflect and you're using that stuff in the past to put on this record, it's really cool.
This is my first actually full-length
Was it?
solo album, but my fifth album to date.
It's really cool that you're like going back and then looking at some of the past things that you've done and putting them out, you know, which just gives it like a live feel.
Right.
Some artists do that, but not that many. So it's like you're taking a risk doing it because of the fact that the quality isn't that good.
Well,
But the feel is amazing, so that's
you
what
know,
makes it kind of cool.
back then I didn't know that this was going to go on. Now,
Yeah.
but looking back
Yeah.
and stuff, I was digging through, and you know, there's some stuff that I just found that was like, oh man, I don't want this to go, you know, without people hearing it. So, put it on.
That's wild. Next. How about around who's next? Oh, this sounds like you.
This song's called "Try."
I think. Hold on, I know this record. You played this on one of your radio shows. You played this around the radio show. You played this on a show when I called in. So I remember it. And this technique is really different. The hi-hat. It's just started. Yeah. Whoa. Are you doing that now? I do that. Oh yeah, this is what I'm talking about. The way you go from low to high.
Yeah, thinking about it,
It's almost like you're so emotional.
Incubus and the Spill Canvas do that. They're singers, Brendan and Nick.
Nice little open quarter note triplet there. Yeah. You dragging them triplets there, baby. That's nice.
This song's called "Second Chance."
Wait a second, Second Chance. I thought that was about your
Yeah,
album.
the last 4 songs on this album are remastered, remixed versions of kind of this prequel that I put together called "Second Chance" that took the name from this song.
This was on
There
the
was-
very first album you did.
Right, "Second Chance," 2009.
Is this a different mix of it?
This is a mastered remix of it.
This was the very first song I ever heard.
And then
I won't
you
say
wanted
Dave.
me to pull myself aside, but baby, I wasn't quite for your tragedy right.
This is a classic.
When your candles are done burning for a girl so undeserving with you, look back and think, oh
This is
well,
you.
things get back to the way they were. Somehow did I let her slip away, and maybe if I pray, we'll get a second chance someday. A second chance. Well, I sure hope you found peace of mind. Looks like you moved on. I'm sure you're doing just fine. I unfortunately ain't doing as well. I'm confined in my mind's own jail cell, and most of all, cursing myself for hurting you despite
Nobody sings like you.
Oh,
At all.
through
And that's
it.
fantastic.
When your candles are done and burning for you know I wanna a second chance someday.
little leg shaker at
That
the
was
end
really
there.
cool. One of the things that is very interesting is when you set a standard, like create a sound like that's so unique, and you think about it, very few people, when your music goes on an international level, which it definitely will, there are going to be very few people that can, like you know, the cover band thing, there aren't that many of them anymore, but there are going to be very few people that will be able to emulate your sound. And that to me makes an artist very unique in terms of playing.